Infield Podcast Live post-game, whatever the hell the show is. That one went out to Taylor Ward. Taylor Ward's spectacular defense out there in left field. What a great guy in left field. He just makes all the plays at Tropicana. What a great throw to third base on top of it. He could have saved the inning, but he didn't. Taylor Ward. That will be subject number one that we get into today on Halos in the Infield Podcast Central, whatever you want to call it. It's not Central. I'm just throwing it out there. This is the post-game show where I'm super frustrated because I'm tired of playing the goddamn song Buttercup. I'm tired of listening to it because this was another definition game. Listen, you could say the offense came through. Maybe it did. Only 5 freaking hits tonight. 2 of which were solo homers, which means, again, nobody gets on base. You kind of rock around the pitcher in the first inning and then don't really do shit after that. You know, maybe you tied the game up and that was it. You made a couple mistakes early, Canning, and then he works. He had 31 pitches in that first inning. He kind of screwed himself over there, so he didn't get to go very far. Suarez did his best. I don't blame Suarez at all for giving up the run. He takes the loss, unfortunately, because Mr. Cishek comes in, who is guaranteed to throw a slider 6 feet off the plate at least once or twice an inning. And what does he do? To a left-handed batter, you kind of want to work your pitches outside, but none of his pitches go outside to any left-handed hitter. They all go inside. So that means if you miss on a slider with the bases loaded, you're going to peg the guy. And he pegged him. And because he pegged him, Suarez gets the loss, and he should have gave up more runs for Suarez if it wasn't for a freaking Iglesias making a nice play up the middle on the double play. And then you had Taylor Ward, error after error. And the thing that pisses me off is you hit a pop-up. Yes, sometimes, look, you have some players that say, okay, Tropicana Field's hard to judge the fly balls in the lights. They should know it already. You should see it. The hardest part about Tropicana is not the lights, it's the scaffolding. It's so low. Sometimes it hits off the scaffolding, and it's actually a freaking, what do you call it? It's a live ball, even though it hits off of something. So I could see that. But the fact that the ball goes up, you're the left fielder, okay? You have 2 infielders running with the ball. Not underneath the ball, not in front of the ball. They're running at the ball towards you. Your job as an outfielder is to call them off. Take control. You're the quarterback. The only other quarterback out in that outfield is the center fielder. That is clearly your ball in left field. You have the best angle on it. You call all those douchebags off. I don't care if you have a clicking noise that you make to call them off. You scream an obscenity. You cuss at them. Whatever. It's Tropicana Field, not Yankee Stadium. They should be able to hear you. But Ward has a dumb-looking face or look on his face and lets the ball drop. I mean, not even... Look, if you look down, which he was, there's nobody coming at him. They all the infielders peel off. Rendon and Iglesias peel off. Judging by his angle, Ward should have caught it. Ward just watched it drop and then proceeds to throw the laziest throw over to third base. If he puts any bit of ball sack into that throw, the runner's out at third. It's a force. And Madden was just out there he's probably like, look, I'm not arguing the call, but my left fielder sucks. Can you at least try to give us the infield fly rule because our left fielder sucks? Did I mention our left fielder sucks? And did I mention we put Griffin Canning out there? And then the umpire's like, you know what? I'd love to give you that call, but we never give calls to the Angels, number 1. And number 2, maybe you should have put Griffin Canning in left field. And that's how that conversation went down. And then, of course, the Angels don't do anything in the 8th inning. They don't appear to have any kind of rally caps, nothing in the dugout. Everyone's just sitting there looking like, damn, I wonder if we can catch Matlock after this game. And then the 9th inning starts, and again, what the hell are they swinging at? Look, this guy's not throwing anything close. You're not taking any pitches. Really, Stassi, swinging at one eye level. And then the other 2 batters, Ward again, our MVP of the night, swings at pitches 3 to 5 feet off the plate. Those are Cishek pitches, which are not meant to get any part of the plate. And if a slider is that bad and is starting to curve on the outside corner of the plate, hold the bat because that bitch is going to go to the outside. Why are you swinging? And you're not going to hit it in the right field. You're not going to foul it off. What are you doing? Again, weak swings. And then Iglesias is like, look, I got a little bit better of an eye, but I'm going to strike out the same way. And sure enough, he strikes out pathetically the same pitch. How many of those pitches did the closer throw in that inning that were actually in the zone? You know how many pitches? 6. 6 and 3 batters. That means the other 14 pitches were outside the zone. And no plate discipline. What did we say the other night and the night before? Paul Sereno, Jeremy Reed, they suck ass. Again, I don't care if Upton's out. I don't care if Trout's out. All these hitters are not being disciplined. They are not being judged or they're not being critiqued for their swings. They're not told to lay off some of these pitches. Look at some pitches. I mean, do we have to go back to the drawing board? Because I think so. These guys have no plate discipline. Terrible. And I'm not jumping to conclusions, but if this game is the way that, hey, we made an improvement. We didn't lose 8-3 like we did in Anaheim. What's going to happen the next 3 games? The next 3 games are going to be pathetic too. They'll probably lose 1 run this entire series, and you can look back and say, well, if a bounce here went there and a bounce here helped us here, we would have won. How many times have we said that this season? Those bounces don't come your way because you're not doing the fundamentals. Those swings, those strikeouts come because you're not doing the fundamentals. See, the pitching has actually helped itself out and has looked a lot better. But for God's sake, the hitting is terrible. And it's gotten progressively worse. I don't even think look, put Mike Trout in here right now. Take Upton off the IL right now. We're still hitting solo homers. Still guys aren't getting on base. And we're not making productive outs. That's plain and simple, dude. It's just the reality of things. So let me get to some of these comments. Welcoming everyone into the show. This is Rally Chris. He can't stand it right now. Michael Gibby says, well, they let another winnable game slip away. The offense sucked again. 5 for 33 hitting isn't going to get it done. Ohtani and Rendon both hit homers, and we still lose. God damn it. This team is frustrating. 4-game losing streak and 11 games behind now. Shake my head. And you're probably going to be sitting back a good 8.5 after this as well. I looked at the wild card standings. We have 4 teams ahead of us before we even get to the 2 wild card teams that have the lead in the wild card. So keep that in mind. You not only got to jump 4 teams, you got to jump the 2 highest seeds too, or at least one of them. So that you got to look forward to. Angel, suck it. Get out of here. Rally Chris says, let's get to some of these comments here. Let's see. Keeves made the first one. Keevice 23 says, can't make this shit up. Fernando says, most inexcusable loss of the season. Average defense wins this game. Build me up, Buttercup, baby. Dylan Bundy, he's loving the song, apparently. He's singing with it. Buttercup again, Chris Swanky. Why us? Fast Times, my boy Randy. I hate this fucking song. Tabora says, get rid of Ward now. He needs to be freaking DFA'd. You called it in our group chat. Pathetic, Jaime says. And that's what I did in the group chat. I called that C-Sheck. I go watch inside. He's going to hit him with that slider. Slider always gets away. Boom, hits him right away. VT has got the chubby up like crazy for this one. Terrible plate discipline in that last inning. Big 20 Hammer says, I pitched yesterday and I got 2 singles yesterday. And yeah, there you go. Big. At least someone's doing something good. Big Hammer 20. Hell yeah. Props to you, brother. Jaime says the worst part of this is that they hang with these big teams, Giants and Rays, and then we just can't finish it. Anthony Carrillo says, do we really think pitching matters when we can't even catch routine fly balls? And there you go right there, too. VT's laugh out loud. Here comes Angry Todd. Woo woo. Nats fan. Spectacular fielding, Chris Swanky says. I'm telling you, if it's not one thing, it's another. The Angels are like, okay, how did we lose the other night? It was hitting. And then what about the night before? And then the guys are like, oh, it was a bullpen. What about the day before that? Oh, it was a bad start, by the starting pitcher. And they're all like, oh, what can we do tonight? And then someone's like, you know what? Put Ward in left field. I'll work my magic. We'll make some defensive mistakes tonight. And that's what happened. I mean, it's literally, they're like finding new ways. Tomorrow it's going to be errors or something, wild pitches. They're going to come up with something. Watch. This team better take some pop-up practice tomorrow. The white ceiling is hard to pick up on the ball. Did Matty V call the game at the Angels tonight? Yes, Nats fan. He also, on Shohei Ohtani's pop out to left field, was like, oh, he got a hold of one! Popped up to the left field, and that'll end the inning. That was Matty V's great call. And that's why, number one, this whole BS with the COVID thing, if it's ended for the fans, why the hell are these announcers not up in the booth where they should be? Why is that? Are they not calling it? Because they've called it from trailers and it sounds stupid. And this one sounded stupid tonight too because he wasn't up in the goddamn booth. He couldn't judge the ball, so he's calling it from wherever the hell he's calling it, and he looks stupid. I mean, he really looks stupid. And I would love to see our record with Matty V in the calling the games because I know it's way under 500. VT says, bro, Ward is a catcher. What the fuck do you expect the front office for drafting a fucking catcher and not a pitcher? Now they put him out there in the outfield. What do you think will happen? VT, great call. But again, Griffin Canning. I would have loved to see what Griffin Canning could have did in left field. Maybe he should have started and played left field as well. But yeah, I get you right there, dude. I mean, you get what you draft, and that's what they got. The bad news, Halos Trout here says, and then Jaime says, I told you, trade Ward. Suck my nuts, Bully Epler, VT. Don Hammond says, why we fucking get rid of Cishek? What are we holding on to him for? Because his name is cool. All right, Cishek. Do you know a Cishek? I don't know, Don. I would love to get rid of him as well. Jaime says, here comes Grill Masters rants. Nats fan says, totally agree. Ward should have taken control and caught that ball. Fast Time says, hey, Matlock is some quality TV. Yeah, if those guys like Matlock, I mean, they're in the right state. They're in Tampa. That's like the retirement capital of the world. And Matlock is probably on 7 times a day. Jaime says, Stassi is a fluke. He's not our catcher for the future. Uh-oh, here's Grillmaster. Grillmaster checks in with DFA everyone and start over. B Arizona. Jaime says, we're trying to catch Arizona. Jaime says, why does Walsh keep trying to hit to the shift? Because he's like, you know what? There was a guy that played right field here. What was his name? Cole Calhoun. I don't think he ever hit the left field against the shift. I'm going to carry on that tradition. And yes, I know he's much better than Cole Calhoun, well, in my opinion. And I know he carries a better average. But he can carry a way better average if he would lay down a bunt, if he would go the other way. But yes, he just continues to say, you know what? There's 10 guys on that right side of that field. There's probably nobody. There's probably a guy in a lawn chair over in left field sipping on a Mai Tai, and he'll still try to hit into right field in that shift. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But that's him, and apparently Madden's like, hey, I'm a player's coach. These guys do what they got to do. I'm not going to get involved with any of these guys. I don't want to piss them off. I'm a player's coach. No, motherfucker, yell at them. Do your freaking job. Tell them something. You're losing games. You look stupid. Fire your freaking hitting coaches, because if you're not going to step up for them, if you're not going to tell the players they need to change something, then you tell the coaches to tell them. And if they don't, get rid of their ass. But no, he's a player's coach, and everyone's happy with him. And, well, he's been in the organization forever. Let's just keep rolling with him. I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm in the minority with this one. I still think he should get another year, but it would not blow me away at all if Perry just decided to say, you know what, you're done, bro. You're not my guy. And I think it might come down to that. He's not his guy. And he's just going to fire him. So we'll see. VT also says, I know who else can suck my nuts? The scouts. Yes, the scouts are to blame for this mess too. If I could throw Grillmaster in here on the mound. Hey, has Grillmaster ever played baseball? Good question. Get Kevin Long as hitting coach, Nats fan says. Tim Salmon looked disappointed. He's probably thinking he could do a better job as hitting coach. I agree. Chris Swanky says no, but Grillmaster is good in the grill, and that's probably better than most of the pitchers we have right now. That's true. The Angels are not allowed to win, he says. Fernando says bullpen was decent. Was decent today. Offense, however, and again, that's the problem. You get masked with. Oh, geez, my lights keep changing in here. You keep getting what is it called? The bullpen keeps getting exposed and put out there too much, but they've been actually hanging in there. And what hasn't been is the hitting. There's no hitting on this team right now. They're not, let's see, DFA the Angels. Juan, what is up, my man? Juan says, here comes another sweep for the Angels. Why is Ohtani leading off or leading the team in bunts? I think it should be somebody else. Ace, that is a great question. Why is your all-star, the guy we've been complaining so much about, not Ohtani, but we've been complaining about the team. We've been ignoring what Ohtani's been doing, or at least I have on this show. Even on the podcast, we didn't even bring up Ohtani's name but once on the podcast because we were too busy complaining about the rest of the aspects on the team. Because this Ohtani has hit, 24 homers, 55 RBIs. He's carrying about a 270, 280 average. Very, very solid numbers. Stolen bases, leading the team, I think, in triples. He's doing everything. Everything. He should not be leading the team in stolen bases. He is. He should not be leading the team in bunts. He is. He's leading the team in team ERA. What more can this guy do? So when they show a picture of him in the ninth inning and he's like opening his eyes because he's freaking he looks like he's tired because he's the one that's carrying the freaking team on his back and it doesn't look like anybody else gives a shit. It doesn't look like anyone else's. I mean, come on. Where's the bubble gum on the top of the hat to loosen guys up? Where's the rally caps? Where's the, hey, let's pound on the little side of the dugout right there or something? Where's the butt slaps and all this other stuff? Look at the Padres when they were playing the Dodgers. I'm watching the highlights. They have like 10 different handshakes. Plus they have the golden spinning medallion. That's cool. They've got chemistry up the wazoo. We got nothing. Again, these guys are thinking about, man, Tampa's got a nice little cabana club not too far from here. You guys want to go hang out after the game? I heard the drinks are half off tonight, even though we're millionaires. And then, the chicks around here, you can't beat that. Miami's not that far if you guys want to take a drive. I'm sure Madden's a player coach, and he doesn't have curfew, so who cares, right? Who gives a shit? And we'll be here early to take batting practice, a little hungover. And Rendon looks just like the biggest I don't give a shit player on the team. He's just like, meh. And he's always been like that. And you get what you get with him. But we gave him $300 million, so he's an I don't give a shit $300 million player. Garrett Cole's a $300 million pitcher. And yeah, maybe he's dirty, but he hasn't been caught yet. And Angel fans try to throw that in there too. The honks are like, hey, you know what? He's using that sticky substance. Will, is he? Because I haven't seen him get suspended yet. He's still winning games. They're still in first or getting close to first. And we still don't have a big-name pitcher. And now, as they lose, the other day, I saw a post, Max Scherzer, the guy I had my VT chubby for, that dude's rumored to 4 other teams. And guess which one isn't one of those 4 teams? The Angels. Because why would they be? They're not in contention as we speak right now. They're more than 5 games out of the wild card. And the division's been kissed goodbye. I mean, we lose a game and Houston gets rained out. So there you go with that. Chris Swanky says there's no in-between. You get decent bullpen work and then bullshit defense and then a hitting. It'll let you take your pick on that one. Ward in center field is in center field. Fernando can train animals. Can he train batters to not swing out pitches a foot outside the strike zone? C-Sheck, they're going to be 36 and 126. I'm starting to believe you on that one. Let's see. Grillmaster says also the Angels even off the field walk around and with their head up their ass. Fast Time says I don't get why they don't bring in Suarez with 2 lefties due up. Why not let Canning get the lefties? And if they get on, bring in Suarez because the third batter hit into a double play. And that is something that you could look into, and they don't do that. It's just whatever is reasonable, sounds sensible. The Angels are like, let's do the opposite. And that's just how they've been. Get your head out of your ass. Grillmaster keeps saying. Jaime says, let's pull Epler let's pull Epi in left field and not have him swing at the plate. His OPP or on base percentage will be higher than some of these other bums. Don Hammond says, this team got no personality or passion whatsoever. I'm sick of it. Forfeit the season, Grillmaster says. And this is the way this team has gone this season. This is the way that they've played this season. I wanted to say it's a roller coaster, but they don't go on enough highs to get high. I mean, the biggest high we had is something that you watch Angels Weekly, and they're all like, hey, this team's on a roll. They beat Arizona, they beat Kansas City. Check them out. They're on a 6-game winning streak. Yeah, and then they get their asses handed to them up in Oakland. It's just, there's not a big enough roller coaster. I mean, look, they're on a kiddie one right now. They're barely hitting the dumps or the hills, and you're like, and it just goes down. But it's a real big drop. I mean, it's not even much of a climb because this team is not allowed to climb. It is so inconsistent. Guys that started off shitty are pitching better. Guys that started off shitty or started off good are pitching crappy. The guys that were hitting good aren't hitting good now. The guys who, vice versa, it just keeps going that way. The defense is good sometimes, then it's not. You can't get all of it to work at once. You can't get on a streak. You can't put anything together. The chemistry looked good in the beginning of the season, then it went to hell. Why was that? Did someone sleep with someone's wife? Was there some kind of fight that divided the clubhouse? I mean, what the hell happened? Do we know about any of this stuff? No, because none of our freaking reporters ever report on anything outside of, hey, Shohei Ohtani's pitching next? We know that! Did you know he's a two-way player? Yes! Hey, there's a Mike Trout bobblehead for the 10th time this year. But do we know what's going on in the clubhouse? No. But all these other backstage Dodgers, they have, you can pretty much know who farts the most in the bullpen and in the dugout. But you don't, and you know what bubble gum they chew. But you don't know shit about the Angels because they don't care to tell you anything. They just put Tim Salmon out there and they're like, hey, Tim, explain why this team sucks ass. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, in my day in 95, I was rookie of the year and I hit the... No. We love you, Tim, but it's not what we want to hear. And then he's like, well, fundamentally, they got to get better. And then Gooby comes on there and, tries to clean it up because, he's Mr. Positive, and we love him for that. And Jose Mota tries to get in the Latin flavor and do the same thing. Everyone's always positive, but they're not critical or crucial on this team whatsoever. And then they bring Eye Candy out there, and then she's over there smiling, and she's like, let me show you what happened in the golf tournament 2 weeks ago. And then that's all you get. That's all you get. You get no in-depth analysis. And then if you say, okay, let me throw it over to the radio side. Hey, guys, what a great game for the Angels today. They lost 4-3. Yeah, 2. Let's play the highlight again of Ohtani going deep. And that's all you get, man. And then Trent Rush is like, oh, man, I'm going to go off on Trent Rush tonight. I'm going to go off on the freaking Angels. I'm going to send him these mean tweets. I'm going to try to call. Oh, I can't call the show. Well, let me send a mean tweet. And you send a mean tweet. He's like, I've got these prepared tweets to read tonight, and then I'm going to fill the show with just a bunch of banter from Joe Madden and whoever else was not sucky tonight. And that's your show. The Angels have no accountability. They don't, nobody ever wants to say what the root of the problem is, even though the fans can see it with no glasses, with the worst vision in the world. If you have bad vision, you could still see the bullshit on the field. You could still see it. But the people that are in charge don't care. They don't care. You have seen 7 years of just, I don't care, push the blame on somebody else if you can find the blame or if we call somebody out. It's never, oh, you know what, it's their fault because blah, 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 I got to fight. It only comes down to that when the general manager leaves or the manager leaves. And even then, Solskjaer was paraded out of here basically with no fanfare, no hey, you know what, Solskjaer's to blame because Solskjaer's been trying to ruin this team because a game has passed him by. He's not into analytics. That's why we lost to Poto. Tell the truth. That's the truth. Instead, it was Solskjaer's been a great 20 year. He just, time to move on. Yeah, time to move on, my ass. There's a reason why Mike Solskjaer does not have a job and he's coaching the USA, the Olympic team. Because they're still playing by the rules without analytics because you don't need analytics in the freaking Olympics. The reason why Mike Solskjaer, with all them damn wins, the winningest manager in Angels history, does not have a job, the game passed him by. But no one wants to say that. Nobody wants to say that. And nobody wants to give credit where credit's due. DePoto's up there in Seattle turning that team around, and I guarantee you next year they're going to be a force in this division. But nobody's going to say that. And then they're just going to say, well, Epler rebuilt this farm system because he tore it apart. He tore the entire team apart. He tried to work analytics with playing the way Solskjaer did. He didn't pick one. You have to pick one, and he didn't. And then he got Brad Ausmus, probably one of the worst managers ever. Then he brings in Madden, and he gets effed over because of COVID. And then it's an exhibition season, didn't matter. But this season, you hamstrung your new general manager. Artie just disappears and goes, poof, I'm gone. He's like the I Dream of Genie. Like, as soon as we start losing, he's all, and he's gone. He's just gone. Like, where the hell's Artie at? I don't know. Wasn't he our owner? Yeah. He's just collecting checks, collecting money, selling getting the land from Anaheim for millions upon millions of dollars, building up his empire to over $3 billion. He's worth $3 billion. He doesn't act like it. He doesn't act like it. See, at least the Clipper owner, he'll spend cash. He's got billions. He's like, I want to win. Why couldn't he be our owner? Why don't we have someone jumping around like a rally monkey in the freaking stands? I'd love to see that. Have some passion. Get a freaking owner like the Dallas Mavericks owner. Same thing, Mark Cuban. Someone with passion, not someone for passion for scotch and making billboards and just he's going to be building all these concession stands and all this other new stuff around the stadium to beautify the team. But will he build a winner? Will he let freaking our boy Perry do something? I mean, that jury's still out. So we have to sit here and suffer with this piece of shit on the field. And then you realize, real quick, before I end this rant, do you realize that this team, how many years was it maybe third best, second best, even some years first best or best overall in California? The Angels are like number 1, number 2, at worst number 3. Think about it, people. The Angels are dead last in California as far as baseball teams. San Diego, number 1. Actually, no, I'm wrong. San Francisco, number 1. San Diego, number 2. The Dodgers, 3. Oakland, 4. Angels, 5. And you know what? You could push Oakland higher. They could be number 2. And when's the last time the Angels were last in the state of California as far as winning records and just being like, usually it's the Giants. Usually the Giants and Padres are down there. Angels are battling it out for the best team in California with Oakland and maybe the Dodgers. And we're dead last. We are the laughingstock of the state. We are not the laughingstock of our division because of one team, Texas, who is way more pathetic with less talent. See, at least you know what you're getting with Texas. At least Texas fans are like, well, yeah, we're going to be shitty. We play in a stadium that looks like Grill Master's Grill, but, we know we're going to suck. We don't have an Anthony Rendon. We don't have a Mike Trout. We don't have a Shohei Ohtani. We don't have a Walsh. We don't have any of these big-name players that the Angels got and when they had Pujols. So we know we're going to suck. What's their excuse? See, Texas can come back and troll us and be like, why the hell are they losing? What's their problem? Well, dude, how much time do you have, Texas? Because we got a story to tell. We've got a bunch of bullshit. And you name the position, there's a problem. You name the coaching position, there's a problem. You name the general manager of the scouts, there's a problem. You name the owner, there's a problem. Hell, even when when the Dodgers come to town and it gets rowdy and we have those old ass, I respect them, but those ushers, they need to bring in bouncers from clubs and freaking bars when the Dodgers and some other teams come to town. I feel bad for those old people trying to break up fights because even that's a problem. So we got a problem everywhere. I'm sorry, I just went into a rant right there. Let me get to some of these other comments here. Let's see, got Fire Artie. Let's see, Love Angry Todd. Whatever. Let's see, Grillmaster says, I confessed, well, no, I didn't read that one. Please, no, I'm not going to read that one because that one's off topic there. Let's see. David Fletcher checks in with FletchFacts checks in with David Fletcher. He always checks in with David Fletcher. And then Fernando says the Todd is a goat when he goes off. Nats fan says so far it has been a highlight of the night. And the tequila. Oh, man, we'll see. You know what? I don't want tequila because tequila always brings problems. But if you have some good rum, I'm down for that. Jaime says, Todd, thank you for these rants, man. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that feels like this. And you know what, Jaime, you're not the only one. I'm not the only one. A lot of fans, in this fan base feel like this. And it's just because when you had such a great record or years of winning prior to Socha losing and the game passing him by, this was a team that was legit going to be around first or second place every year, battling for a wild card, battling for a division. We knew what we had, and we got a little spoiled. I'll admit it. From 2002 onward, I was thinking, man, this team's going to be in the playoffs every freaking year. We were loading up with good talent, raping the Expos for Juan Rivera, Orlando Cabrera, Vladimir Guerrero, and we were getting players in here that were just going to kill it for us, and they were doing it. Jose Guillen and all these other players, and they still found a way not to win another World Series. We let guys go and didn't replenish the freaking minors, didn't make trades that should have went through. We sat on our hands come trade deadline, and we're stand pat. We were the stand pat team every deadline for a few years that cost us in the end. When all those minor leaguers that were supposedly the next big thing never panned out. The only one that did was Irvin Santana. Everyone else sucked. So I feel your pain because I'm going through it too. I wanted this team to be so much better. I felt they could have been, and they're just not. Yvette says, why didn't Anthony catch that ball or direct Ward? Anthony is a big vet, shitty defense. Well, Yvette, that was actually his ball. That was Ward's ball all the way. He should have called him off. Instead, he watched him. He got lost in Rendon's hair. He saw Rendon's hair go up and down, and he's like, my God, I wonder if he uses Pantene Provine. And then, you know, all of a sudden he's like, oh, crap, the ball. And then all of a sudden he's like, I don't need to throw it too hard to third because I don't want to hurt Iglesias' glove. You know, maybe he doesn't have a glove hand or glove underneath his glove to protect his palm. He was worried about Iglesias' palm, so he threw a weak throw to third instead of getting the forced play. So Ward is definitely our MVP. Bro, tough loss. At least it wasn't an LA no-hitter. Listen, Joseph, yeah, you guys got no hit. But, dude, come on, man. If this team had your guys' record, you could no-hit us 3 games in a row, and I still wouldn't bat an eye, bro. You guys are, you know, your exhibition champs from last year, and you're in or you're not in first place, but you're close to first place. You got over 40 wins. I'd be pretty happy if I were you. Yeah, it's been a little rough patch after San Diego and stuff. I feel you on that one. And, yeah, I'm just kidding about the no-hitters. That would suck if we got no-hit, too. So, but, again, we're finding ways to lose, man. I mean, at least you guys got, you know, shut down by real good pitchers. I mean, we have no excuse. No excuse. 4 knives in the toaster, Grill Master says. Steven says the bad thing about that is for Artie to leave. He has to sell the team, and that's not happening anytime soon. Does anyone have any naked pictures of Artie? If you do, please message Halos in the infield, and we'll try to get on that. Or if he said anything racial in the last few hours, or if you have anything racial that he's done, you know, I know he's a Trump supporter, but not all Trump supporters are that way. But I'm just saying, politics out of it. Is there anything that we have on him? You know, has he snorted crack? You know, anything? Is there any way we can? Because there is ways to get rid of owners, but he has to either come on to somebody and, you know, sexual harassment. It has to be because you guys are right. There's no way he's gonna freaking sell the team. No freaking way. This team's a cash cow. It's better than any of his billboards could have ever got him. His empire. I mean, look at what he paid for this team back in the day compared to what it's worth now. I think he paid something like $500 million, maybe. I could be wrong, but that's a bargain compared to what this team is worth now. His team is worth 4 times that. So, geez Louise. And because he got smart and did that little, I was literally having this conversation last night. Heath said, really, the stadium looks like Grill Master's grill. It does. Check it out, dude. Look at the top of the stadium, Grill Master in Texas. Fire Artie right there. Anthony Carrillo says Madden should have Rendon in the leadoff spot and to get him back on track. I would love to see some intensity in this team, Ace. I think anyone would. I mean, something needs to happen to this team, and it's just not happening. We're becoming the Chargers of baseball. Well, don't say that. Please don't say that. What do you think about the All-Star gear? Yvette says, that All-Star gear is probably the crappiest that I've ever seen. Now, I don't know if this is the gear. I hope it's not the gear they wear during the game. If it's the gear they wear for the home run derby and stuff like that, then I'm fine with that, because that's the stuff that they just want to sell, the extra jerseys. But I think when Major League Baseball went back to the way of, hey, we're going to let the teams wear their jerseys, if they're on the American League and they're home, they have to wear their white uniform. If they're on the White Sox or if they're on the Angels, they have to wear the white thing, and then they just have the All-Star patch or whatever. I'm good with that, as long as they wear that stuff and they keep that there. But if that's their batting practice jerseys and that's their home run jerseys, who cares, man? I don't know who buys that crap anyway, but it looks like a freaking soccer jersey. I think Fernando said it best. It does look like a freaking soccer jersey. It looks ugly. It's hideous. Hideous. That's the best you can come up with? It's terrible. I pray that they don't wear those for the freaking game, because it's going to look stupid. I mean, just keep it traditional like you've had it the last few years. I don't understand. Let's see. Stung again by Tampon Bay. And then let's see. Grillmaster also says, send the Angels to hell. It's getting that way. So as I get to the end of this show today, I'm just gonna tell you, I needed that day off yesterday after the Giants series, and I really wanted to come in today and say, hey man, you know what? They kind of recouped. They looked a little bit better today. They got the victory, and even if today they took a loss, it would have been tolerable without the errors. If they took a loss straight up, these guys weren't swinging, and if they were putting pressure on the pitchers, bullpen or starters, and had guys on base, I would expect that they're going to leave some guys. And if you lose by a run, you lose by a run. Even if they would have lost on a walk-off, I'd be like, well, it's not completely a buttercup because it was a tie. They did this. I would try to look for the silver linings, but I challenge any of you to see a silver lining other than those 2 solo blasts. And even then, I'm tired of seeing solo homers. Do you remember that? And this is not, one last thing I'm going to say is this is not a new thing for the Angels. It's not. Because do you remember that year when Mike Trout had, I want to say like 45 homers and maybe 93, 95 RBIs? That's pathetic. That means nobody's on base in front of him. And Socha kept batting him second, stupidly. And then you had no gifted player to lead off, nobody to hit second, to put guys on base in front of these big guys. Nobody. I mean, it was absolute. And then even if Trout gets on base, you had captain double play behind you. And Pujols was like, I come up and I hit double play. And that was it. And that was it. And at least with these guys that you got around him now, you got more power. You got more, you got to still change a few things. At least Upton, I'll give him credit. If he could freaking stay healthy, he's probably one of our best hitters out there because he's seeing the most pitches. He's walking. He's stealing bases. He's going the other way. He's doing everything you want. You keep him at leadoff. Maybe go Walsh 2. When Trout returns 3, go Ohtani or Ohtani 3 or Ohtani say. I mean, there's ways to do it, but you'd have a good power 5 to start the lineup. And maybe you'll kickstart the rest of these guys to stop swinging at shit. We've already talked about that. But the cycle continues. And I'm just going to say that there's no accountability for this freaking team at all. At all. Until you start to see heads roll, or actually Madden grabbing one of these guys again, because the worst that Madden had with an argument this year outside of an umpire is getting mad at freaking Heaney because Heen Dog showed him up and purposely ignored him when he asked for the ball and he gave it to Stassi. And that was a bitch move by Heaney. We went over that. But the worst he did was he grabbed Heaney and said, hey, man, I don't appreciate that. And then Heaney cowered down because he has no backbone. And he's like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I didn't mean to do that, Madden. I didn't see you right there. You're on my bad side. And then Madden's like, okay, you get by this time, but let me slap you on the butt. And we're friends, right? Because don't unfriend me on Facebook. And he's like, I wouldn't unfriend you on Facebook. You're my manager. And that was it. And he stroked his peach fuzz on his face, and that was it. That's the worst fight we've had, at least that we know of. Because, again, the media doesn't tell us nothing. Doesn't tell us nothing. Back in the day when there was newspapers, I know it's hard for you kids to understand, but there was this thing that you had to read that was on paper that was not on your phone. It would not pop up and update you. You had to put a quarter in this little machine and pull it out, and then it had all this print on it, right? And sometimes the print would like get on your fingers. Sometimes it had color pictures and sometimes it didn't. It just depended on how good the story was. So if you weren't all that great, you got black and white, or you didn't get a picture at all. So anyway, you read the newspaper, and again, it's on paper, and you read it, and they would tell you some stuff. Like they would actually say, hey, you know what, this team, Angels had a closed door meeting with Marcel Latchman or whoever their manager was at the time, and Chili Davis got into a fight with Tim Salmon, or this and that went on, and there was pushing and shoving, and you got to hear or you got to read all the dirt. There was no TikTok videos. There was no hidden cameras, nothing. You got to read about it, and then you make up you actually use your imagination, and you kind of try to picture it. And you're like, man, dude, Tony Phillips was snorting crack in the dugout or in under the dugout, and then one of the players caught him. You read about shit like that, and you're like, yeah, man, then it turned into a thing. He had to go to rehab, but you don't hear about stuff like that with the Angels. Thankfully, no crack, but I mean, you should be hearing about fighting. You should be hearing about people being pissed off, throwing chairs. You don't hear nothing. There is no accountability, and it's either lazy-ass reporting or this team has a closed door to the media, which I don't think it's that way, because even pre-COVID, you had all access. They were in the dugouts. They were in the locker rooms, but they just never told you nothing. Never cared to report on anything. Except, hey, what's this song? Do you know this song? And it's a country song. They're all trying to guess it. That's about the most in-depth conversation you get. And that's pretty pathetic. Let's see. I'm going to read a couple more, and then I'm out of here. I'm just frustrated with this stupid-ass team. It's frustrating, dude. I mean, I love the Angels, but come on. Enough's enough already. Something changed. Fernando says, more and more the Angels convince me that it's less hopeful of pulling out a 2019 Nationals miracle. I don't see it either, to be honest with you. I really don't see it. We need Fire Artie t-shirts. Those could be on the way real quick. Tabora says I would buy that. I volunteer to go to yell at them. Nats fan says, you know what's going to come soon? The paper bags. I swear to God, I'm going to bust out a paper bag, and it's going to be pathetic if we bust it out before the All-Star game. Juan says, it's just a matter of time before someone pitches a no-hitter against the Angels. How has it not happened? That's what I want to know, Juan. Can we hire Dave Wallace, Ernie Young after the Olympics? I'm over Matt Wise as pitching coach. I'm over all the coaches, Yvette says. Yes, you guys, you ladies are spot on, because Matt Wise looks so disinterested out there too. He's just like, he walks out there like Lurch, from Addams Family. He's like, you need to leave the game or pitch better. And then they're like, huh? And he's like, you need to pitch better. And then he walks off, and the pitchers are like, am I supposed to be scared, or am I supposed to pitch better? And then when he gives up a home run, when they do a buttercup, then you hear, and then Wise is like grunting on the phone, calling another pitcher, and then Madden walks down there like, hey, good job out there. You gave up 6 runs on 4 hits and got 1 out. Good job. Give me the ball, kid. Butt slap. And there you go. That's it. That's our accountability. That's our team. Go Angels. Yeah. Yeah, this is probably the lowest part of the season for me right now. So bear with me. Yeah, we'll be on here tomorrow. Catch us live at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Let's say 4:15 after the Angels. I'm calling a 5-2 Tampa win tomorrow. I think Cobb pitches good through 6. I don't really usually make these predictions, but I'm going to do a grill master, and I'm going to give it 5-2 Tampa. Angels hit 2 solo homers again tomorrow, and don't do much on the bases, and the Rays just chip away a run here, run there, and then they put 3 more on the board, and the bullpen shuts them down because the Angels are swinging at stuff 5 to 6 feet off the plate. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening on this now Friday as we start the weekend. Hooray, weekend! And yeah, Angels and Rays tomorrow before we go to Yankee Stadium, new Yankee Stadium. How about that? All right.